A single necklace worth more than a mansion. A crown so heavy with diamonds it could barely be worn. A treasure room where you could literally swim in emeralds. Sound like fantasy? It's not. Throughout history, there have been women whose jewelry collections weren't just accessories. They were power moves that started wars, ended monarchies, and broke auction records centuries later. Today, we're counting down the 10 most jaw-dropping jewelry collections ever assembled. These treasure troves are absolutely legendary. At number 10, Wallis Simpson, Duchess of Windsor, the American divorcee whose scandalous romance literally changed British history. When King Edward VIII met Wallis Simpson, he fell so hard he abdicated the British throne in 1936. The only monarch to ever voluntarily give up the crown, it shocked the world. But Edward made sure Wallis never lacked for jewels. He commissioned custom Cartier pieces, including the legendary Panther bracelet, a prowling diamond and onyx big cat. He gifted her massive mogul emeralds, rubies the size of strawberries, and intimate pieces engraved with love notes. Every milestone got jewels wedding, custom Cartier bracelet, anniversaries, more gems. Their love story was literally written in diamonds. When Wallis died in 1986, Sotheby's auctioned her collection for over $50 million. In 1987, several pieces shattered world records. Edward may have lost his crown, but he gave Wallis something perhaps more valuable. A jewelry collection for the ages. Number 9. Empress Josephine, Napoleon's first wife who helped define imperial French luxury. Napoleon was obsessed with legitimizing his rule through opulence. He reportedly told jewelers to create pieces for Josephine as if buying a kingdom. They took him literally. Josephine collected extravagant suites of emeralds, rubies glowing like frozen fire, and sapphires deep as the ocean. She amassed an entire collection of Roman cameos, intricately carved gemstones connecting her to ancient empresses. But these weren't just pretty baubles. Josephine used jewelry as diplomatic tools, wearing specific pieces to send political messages and impress foreign dignitaries. Her taste set the standard for Napoleonic luxury, and her influence on jewelry design echoed through the entire 19th century. 8th place, Queen Mary of Teck, Queen Elizabeth II's grandmother, and perhaps the shrewdest jewelry collector in British history. Queen Mary had a reputation for visiting aristocratic homes and admiring pieces until owners felt obligated to gift them. Strategic? Absolutely. After World War I bankrupted Europe's aristocracy, priceless heirlooms hit the market. Queen Mary seized the opportunity, systematically acquiring tiaras, necklaces, and brooches from fallen noble families. Her collection included iconic pieces: the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, massive Cullinan diamonds, the Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara later worn by Princess Diana, and elaborate pearl chokers. But Queen Mary did something revolutionary. She cataloged and formalized what became the modern British royal jewelry collection. She understood these weren't just personal property, they were national treasures. Thanks to her, the British royals have one of the world's most impressive jewelry collections today. Number 7. Maharani Sita, Devi of Baroda, India's Coco Chanel, whose daily jewelry was pure opulence. This wasn't ceremonial jewelry saved for special occasions. Sita Devi wore museum-quality pieces to breakfast. Diamonds as big as ice cubes. Tuesday morning, the legendary Baroda pearls worth tens of millions. Just another Thursday, she commissioned custom suites from Cartier and kept a literal treasure room, walk-in vault style, filled with rubies, emeralds, and ceremonial jewels. Her collection rivaled entire palaces. The Maharani understood jewelry as both art and power. Each piece announced her status as royalty in a changing India. Her legendary extravagance made her a fashion icon, and her collection remains one of history's most spectacular displays of royal wealth. At 6, Marie Antoinette, the ill-fated Queen of France, whose jewels were almost as infamous as her lifestyle. Let them eat cake. She probably never said it, but her jewelry collection, that spoke volumes. Elaborate pearl strings, massive diamond parures, sets so valuable they literally helped fuel the French Revolution. The common people were starving while she dripped in diamonds. When revolution came, Marie Antoinette tried smuggling some pieces out. Some were seized, some disappeared. But incredibly, some of her famed pearls and diamonds survived and reappear at auctions centuries later, still commanding millions. In 2018, a pearl and diamond pendant that belonged to her sold for over $36 million, proving that even 200 plus years later, her jewels remain legendary symbols of royal excess. Number 5, Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, whose collection was so massive she created a dedicated room just to store it. Catherine understood power, and she understood that in 18th century Russia, power sparkled. She built the brilliant room in the Winter Palace, an entire chamber dedicated solely to housing her gems. Imagine a walk-in closet, but for crown jewels, her coronation crown in 1762 was studded with nearly 5,000 diamonds. Let that sink in. 5,000 diamonds on one crown. The crown also featured the massive 414-carat red spinel, one of the oldest gems in the Russian collection. Her imperial scepter held the 189-carat Orlov diamond, a stone so famous it has its own dramatic backstory involving theft from an Indian temple. Catherine also loved emeralds, collecting pieces like a 107-carat emerald she later had reset into a brooch. Catherine's collection wasn't just personal vanity, it was state power materialized. These jewels represented Russia's wealth and strength, designed to intimidate foreign diplomats and dazzle visiting nobility. At 4, Heidi Horton, Austrian billionaire whose private collection made auction history in 2023. Heidi Horton wasn't royalty, but she collected like an empress. Over decades, she quietly assembled what would become the most valuable private jewelry collection ever sold at auction. Over 700 pieces valued at more than $150 million. This wasn't random collecting. Horton had impeccable taste and unlimited resources. She acquired masterpieces from every legendary house: Bulgari, Cartier, Harry Winston, Van Cleef and Arpels, Boucheron. If they made it and it was extraordinary, she bought it. Her crown jewels included the 90-carat Briolette of India diamond necklace, a stone with 400 years of documented history. The 25.59-carat Sunrise ruby, one of the world's finest Burmese rubies, museum-quality colored diamonds. Rare jadeite pieces. When Christie's auctioned her collection in 2023, collectors and museums competed fiercely. Individual pieces sold for multiples of their estimates. The collection proved that in the modern era, private individuals could still assemble royal-level treasures. Bronze medal position. Elizabeth Taylor, Hollywood royalty, whose passion for jewelry rivaled any monarch. Liz Taylor didn't just wear jewelry, she lived for it. She famously said, "Big girls need big diamonds." And boy, did she practice what she preached. Her collection reads like a greatest hits of gemstone history. The 33-carat Krupp diamond, so large it looked almost fake. The 69-carat Taylor Burton diamond, a gift from Richard Burton that caused such a sensation Elizabeth had to have armed guards when she wore it. Then there's La Peregrina, a pearl with 500 years of history, once owned by Spanish royalty and later gifted to Elizabeth by Burton. Again, he had Cartier design a custom necklace for it, featuring ruby and diamond flowers. But what made Elizabeth's collection special wasn't just the stones, it was the stories every piece connected to her life, her loves, her losses. That enormous diamond, worn to Princess Margaret's birthday party, causing such a stir that royalty seemed underdressed. When her estate auctioned these jewels in 2011, they brought in over $137 million, nearly double the pre-sale estimate. The world watched as her sparkle sold piece by piece, proving that Hollywood glamour and historic gemstones create magic together. Silver medal Queen Elizabeth II, whose collection wasn't built for show, it was living history. Queen Elizabeth II inherited and maintained one of the most significant jewelry collections on earth. We're talking hundreds of tiaras, brooches, necklaces, and earrings, each with its own story spanning generations. The Nizam of Hyderabad necklace, gifted for her 1947 wedding, featuring nearly 300 diamonds, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, purchased by her grandmother, Queen Mary, and worn in countless official portraits. The Brazilian aquamarine parure, massive blue stones given as a coronation gift. But Elizabeth understood something crucial. These jewels weren't really hers. They belonged to the institution, to Britain itself. She was their guardian, choosing pieces carefully for state occasions, diplomatic meetings, and public appearances. Each brooch told a story. the maple leaf brooch for Canadian visits, the Australian wattle brooch down under. She used jewelry as a silent language, communicating respect, connection, and continuity. Her collection represented hundreds of years of royal history, from Georgian pieces to contemporary commissions. When she wore the Vladimir tiara, heavy with Cambridge emeralds, she connected herself to generations of queens before her. And to the viewers, who do you think should be in the #1 spot for top 10 women in history with the most insane jewelry collections? Comment your thoughts in the comment section. From empresses who built rooms for their gems to Hollywood legends who sparkled brighter than royalty, these women didn't just collect jewelry, they made history wearing it. Their collections remain symbols of power, passion, and timeless beauty that continue captivating us centuries later. Which collection would you want to raid for a day? The royal vaults, the treasure rooms, or Hollywood glamour? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you love this journey through jewelry history, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the extraordinary lives of history's most fascinating figures. Until next time, keep shining.